Ulster captain Iain Henderson now. I think it's we can officially call you that after you're back from World Cup duty. But I suppose, Iain, the first thing to ask you about, I suppose, it has to really be the World Cup. A huge disappointment in the end for Ireland to be going on with the quarterfinals. What have the last couple of weeks been like?
Yeah, obviously we didn't get what we wanted out of the World Cup. I think everyone I've spoken to has been incredibly supportive. They've been very understanding. I think that's probably down to the fans are disappointed as well as, and I understand the players are obviously disappointed. We didn't get what we wanted, and we came away definitely earlier than we wanted to come away from it. There's obviously at times we performed very well, at times we definitely didn't perform well, or perform as we should have. That's probably frustrating, but that's the field of a cup competition, isn't it? You have to perform on the day, and you have to peak at the right time, and unfortunately that wasn't for us.
I imagine then over the last couple of weeks there's a lot of self-reflection, thinking back over everything from the preparation down to the decisions during games. Have you been able to put your finger on something that you think just wasn't quite right?
Look, I think everyone gets over things in different ways. People get over it faster than others, and there's no one way is correct or no one way is incorrect. Thinking back, there's obviously a few things that everyone understands are difficult about World Cups. You've got a small squad, the training numbers can be tight, and the effort that goes into training prior to it is massive. There's a lot of people disappointed not to be in the squad. People get flown out. There's so many factors to include on what could have changed, or what might have changed, or what might not have changed outcomes to one or any of the games we played in. So those decisions will be up to the organisers of the international teams, for them to attempt to adjust what they did in the competition just past, and how they can make it work for not the next World Cup, but all the competitions leading up, which essentially is your 4-year pre-season to the next World Cup.
Was there an over-reliance maybe on the things that had worked well in 2018 to keep doing them rather than kind of adapting to everyone else as well?
Yeah, well, I think the way we played in 2018 was incredible. Unfortunately, that form didn't carry through. Probably, if you want to say, we picked maybe a bit too early, and maybe we were relying on our past form to try and get us through, which in hindsight is easy to say, but at the time, why wouldn't you try and do what you know has worked for you in the past? However, like I said, that's done and dusted now, and thankfully as players we have another distraction in Pro 14 and European Cup to take our minds off it and attempt to perform again. But as a good few people have talked about, the international coaches don't have that luxury. They have to mull it over for a good bit longer and wait until the next international window to be able to try and prove or try and get some or find something in the kind of the aftermath of the World Cup, I feel like.
Being back at Ulster, then there's obviously, I suppose, a nice release being back in the familiar surroundings. Do you think you'll be fit, ready to go for the opening round of the Champions Cup?
Yeah, all being well, that's the plan. Hopefully get tugged out, stay injury free, and I think it's been unbelievable to get the phone call from Dan to come in and have a chat with him, and then he asked me. Again, similarly, it was very frustrating though, after being made Ulster captain, not to be able to spend the immediate time in the future with the lads and be around the place. So it's been a good number of months, obviously, since it's been announced. So it's good to get back in with the lads and see the hard work that they've paying off, that they've been putting in over the pre-season and the first number of rounds of the Pro 14. And again, I just can't wait to get back involved.
And it seemed last year Dan very much got things back on track with Ulster, and getting back into a quarter-final of the Champions Cup was huge, and also qualifying again for the tournament, getting into the knockout stages of the Pro 14. It does mean that the window is a little bit smaller for improving now this season, but that's the challenge you have to take on, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think it's a building block essentially, and it's something that we have and we can use as a bit of a foundation to move forward and ensure that we take a massive amount from how we progressed last season and try and do it again this season. And like we talked about with Ireland, not just rely that, yes, we had good performances last year, let's just do that again. Be able, as you mentioned, being able to adapt and move forward. The game of rugby is always changing, there's always different things happening in it, and the teams who adapt best to that are the ones that do well in competitions like the Champions Cup.
And looking ahead at the first few games, starting off Bath away, difficult place to go. It's a tricky looking pool as well, Bath, Harlequins and Claremont. As I think I was chatting to Dan earlier on, we were saying that it does look like it could be one of those pools where there's only one team coming out of.
Yeah, look, there could be points getting thrown around all around the pool. Maybe not in one direction. It could be going. I think it'll definitely be a pool where every point's going to matter, whether or not it's a losing bonus point or a winning bonus point, or denying a team a losing bonus point or a winning bonus point. Those are the factors that will really influence who ends up coming out of this pool. So again, the Champions Cup is a pretty special competition in the sense that you have to take it week by week. You have to wait and see what sort of form your competition's in, what sort of form what sort of the past results your next competition has. So all those things play massive factors in how the results might pan out, but ultimately at the end of the day it's the team who turns up and performs wins.
Iain, thanks a million for speaking to us and very best luck.
Thank you.